Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ IAS English channel. My name is Shubham Sagar. Today we have to talk about this particular issue. ED versus politician, justice or just drama. And here, let me tell you something. ED is not executive director. Many people get ED confused with that, and you are not alone if you feel that way. So ED is Enforcement Directorate. Which kind of body it is? Is it a constitutional body, a statutory body, executive body, or non-statutory body? What it does? Has it created a fear among people for good reasons, fear among politicians for good reasons? What actually ED does? We have to talk about that. Why is ED in news? We have to talk about that as well. So March 20, 2025, Hindu page number 12, this is the article. ED filed 193 cases against politicians in the last 10 years. Awesome, because we know there are certain things when you talk about transparency in electoral reforms. So you talk about corruption in politics. You talk about criminalization of politics. So this is actually good, right? And ED filed 193 cases. And again, under ED, they look into different scenarios. Like they look into the cases of money laundering, hawala transactions. They look into so many things. If you are an offender, if you're a fugitive, if you have ran away from our country, let's say Somalia or something, they will look into your whole case and everything. So again, their jurisdiction is very wide. We have to talk about it, and we have to talk about this particular case. And Hindu page number 12, if you go and if you see this article, it's very small, but if you go to web portal of Hindu, you will see the expanded version of this article. So what this article is all about, again, whatever I will tell you here, these are not my views. Mostly, these are not my views. These are the disclosure made by Minister of State for Finance, Pankaj Chaudhary sir, in a written reply to a question in Rajya Sabha on March 18. So what Pankaj Chaudhary sir has replied, what he has said here. So number of cases we have just seen, that was there in the title, 193 cases. How many people have been actually convicted? This is the point here. And that's why we are talking whether sometimes people feel like, okay, these money laundering cases and different kind of cases are levied against politicians. This is actually good. Corruption will reduce in our country. At second ARC Ethics and Governance report, they talk a lot about corruption in India. And in Corruption Perception Index, we again top from the bottom. That shows corruption. And again, second ARC Ethics and Governance report says that in most countries, corruption is an exception rather than a norm. In India, corruption is a norm rather than an exception. They say something more about India. Second ARC Ethics and Governance report says that corruption is a high-risk, low-return activity in most countries of the world. In India, corruption is a high-return, low-risk activity. So hope you can understand what we are discussing here. So Enforcement Directorate, their action against different politicians gave us some amount of hope that something will be happening in our country for good. Corruption will reduce, especially among politicians. But this data is very, very saddening. Only 2 convictions in last 10 years, bro. 2 convictions out of 193. CSAT question for you. What percentage it is? You can pause me here. This is 1%. 1% convictions you had like in the last 10 years. So all these is just drama. What do you think about it? All these cases registered against political parties just to create a public perception that we are very serious about corruption. And then this is the result. So there were no acquittals mentioned that how many people went free, how many political leaders were the charges, whatever were levied were false. They did not mention about it. But conviction happened in only 2 cases out of 193. So again, whatever is your view regarding this conviction rate, 1% rate in not last 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, last 10 years, sir and ma'am. So notable conviction. These 2, sir, Hari Narayan Roy, former Jharkhand minister, 7 years rigorous imprisonment under PMLA. Now I will show you certain things. This ED, Enforcement Directorate, works under which ministry? It is a non-statutory body, and there are different laws under which it looks into those different laws, like PMLA is one of them. When was PMLA passed? All these things are important. Anosh Ikka, again, former Jharkhand minister, received 7 years rigorous imprisonment. Both cases were linked to money laundering investigation. Fine, you can have a look at this. Case distribution, highest number of, again, all these information were given in the budget session, like in the session which is happening in Parliament right now. And nature of cases, ED investigates, PMLA case, FUA case, foreign exchange management case. We'll talk about these cases later on also when we are talking about ED in a much expanded form. Okay, we'll do that. And then there will be a question in front of you where you will answer the question which I will ask you. Okay. So state-wise data, again, they don't have any state-wise data, plus they are saying that And the minister sir is saying that ED claims to initiate investigation based on credible evidences. Pay attention to the words here. Without bias regarding political affiliation, religion, or any other factors. Many scholars, many opponents, many people, they feel like, first of all, ED, 193 cases, 2 convictions, that in itself is actually a very sorry figure with due respect to ED. And many people also felt like whatever people they targeted, most of them, if not all, were from opposition party. And that's why many scholars believe that this was just a joke and this was not actually a reality. Again, this is just a joke. We are not saying that that was the case. You people will say it in the comment section, whether you feel like ED targeted majorly opposition leaders, or you feel like, no sir, in ruling party, be it at the center or states, they don't have any such leader who are like corrupt in any way. So how can they file charges against them? Whatever is your view, again, you can post it in the comment section. Now let's talk about Enforcement Directorate, under which ministry it operates. So it is a specialized financial investigation agency under Ministry of Finance, responsible for enforcing laws related to economic crimes and money laundering. And there are 3 major laws. In itself, it is a non-statutory body, keep it in mind, but it looks into 3 major laws. What are those 3 major laws? We'll see that. This is the first one, PMLA 2002. Do remember the year in which it was enacted. Like, let's say, right to information you have, 2005. Right to education, 2009. Similarly, remember PMLA 2002, Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999, and the third act with which ED deals with, that is FEOA, Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018. So do remember the year in which these acts were passed. So you can have a look at this. Then powers of ED. And again, let's say you have been convicted under, like, ED seized your property or arrested you. Like, is it subjected to judicial review or not? That is again a question which you have to think about. The answer is yes, sir. Again, if you are not agreeing with the judgment of ED or whatever they did, you can go to special courts, you can go to High Court, you can go to Supreme Court. Then there are certain courts attached to PMLA. So yes, sir, it is subject to judicial review, whatever they are doing. Attachment of property, search and seizure, arrest and prosecution, investigation assistance. Do remember, activities, powers of ED, they are subject to judicial review. This is important. And that is what is written here. There are appellate tribunals where you can appeal against the verdicts given by ED. Special courts, High Court, Supreme Court, you can go there and you can appeal against the judgment or whatever has been done by ED, whether they have searched your property, seized your property, and so on and so forth. So this is a question related to Enforcement Directorate. Consider the following statement. You have 3 statements. How many of them are correct? ED functions under Ministry of Home Affairs. Second, ED is responsible for investigation under PMLA, FEMA, and then FEOA. The decision, third statement, and actions of ED are not subject to judicial review. Which of the statement given above is or are correct? A1 and 2 only, B2 only, C1 and 3 only, D 2 and 3 only. What is the answer, sir and ma'am? And now let's talk about the question, a very pertinent question. Although you may have realized up until now, do you think what actually happened here? And if we go back and talk about it, so 193 cases, 2 convictions, and this is actually a very sorry data, less than 1% conviction or around 1% conviction, little more than 1% conviction actually. So, and again, this particular allegation which is levied on ED, whether it targets only opposition parties, leaders or not. Do you believe in this, or you feel like, again, what we have discussed earlier, that no sir, this is not the case. ED also targets ruling party leaders. If you have any example, you can talk about it. And it's not only confined to targeting opposition leader. It's not only about tokenism, because we are not seeing too much convictions happening under ED. So whatever is your view, you can post it in the comment section, and I will share this particular PDF along with the answer of this question, the objective question which I just asked you, on this Telegram channel, Fun Study with Shubh, because study should be fun. And yes, you can join our March morning batch, which is starting from 8 a.m. 24th March 2025, which includes prelims and mains residential program, and 11,000 reward if you're a monthly top performer, full refund if you're clearing prelims, and then interview guidance program, because this is P2I, prelims to interview. Okay, sir. So that's it from me. Take care. Be blessed. I will see you soon. And whatever is your view on Enforcement Directorate and the so-called tokenism, everything, whether it targets only opposition leaders or not, you can post it in the comment section. Bye-bye.